Hi there guys, this is Bowline Hamster here with another deck building guide, revision this time. So a little while ago I posted a build that I was using for Iggy and Scorch. Since that build it has gone under a revision because there's a few things that I think needed to be improved about it, and there's a few additional changes to the meta and what people are making at the moment. So we're going to go through this. And you will notice that I have failed to put on my starting items. There we go. Okay, so this build is now complete. So we got two cask tokens, we got a health potion, we got our armivore, we got blood-soaked armor, we got pendulum of the lords, tempered plate, another tempered plate, a tune barrier, a second tune barrier, bane flesh, and drink the spirits. Okay, so there's a few things I'm going to go over. So what I start off with on this build is always the health potion and two cast tokens. I want to get as farmed up in the middle lane as I can as soon as possible. Once I've got my first 6 points, I go back and then I get rid of one of my cast tokens and I add my armivore and my drink the spirits. Okay, in fact, scratch that. Don't get rid of one of your cast tokens. Get rid of your health potion. Okay. What this is going to do is going to give you a lot of sustain in lane. Your armivore here, this gives you 7 mana every time you kill something. So that's going to give you enough mana to be able to spam your turrets. And then drink the spirits. Every time you kill something, you get 5% of its health healed over you over 10 seconds. So you're not going to need that health potion anymore. Okay. Well, your next, you're going to sit in the middle lane, go off to the outer lanes on the enemy side to steal their jungle, because it's very, very easy to do that as an Iggy. I usually just steal the ones closest to their towers, because I can just push the wave, run off, farm their camp on either the left or the right hand side, then get back into lane, because by then the enemy has pushed the way forward. So I go for my next 6 points. This is when I decide who is doing the most damage, or who am I laning with. Is it an energy hero that I'm laning with, or is it a physical hero that I'm laning with? If it's physical, then I will go for my tempered plate and I will fill this up instantly with my 2 minor guards. Then I will move on to my tune barrier there with 3 minor barriers in there. This is going to make you very, very hard to kill in the early game. Extremely hard to kill. And that is basically what you want. From then, you want to move on to your next armor item. So you've got to choose who's doing the most damage. Is it someone physical? Is it someone energy? Okay. If it's physical, then we've got a tempered plate here with 3 greater healths and a greater guard in there. So this is a 12-point item. And then we've got our tune barrier here, which is a 12-point item as well, with 2 greater barriers in there and a greater health. Now the reason I've gone for more barrier on this and more health on this is, generally speaking, I don't have the cards. I don't have the card for the extra greater guard that I would quite like on there, so I've had to substitute that. So generally I will remove one of these and then stick one of these on, depending on whoever it is that's doing the most damage and the most killing. If you find that you are getting more physically damaged, then you can move on to your blood-soaked armor from then. Okay. And then I start filling up my altars. Okay, so I got drink the spirits with the health, the mana, and the basic mana in there. And I've got my armivore with armor penetration. Armor penetration is pretty much all you need with Iggy. Okay, with a shock, a minor shock, and a dire shock in there. Okay. So that's your 9-pointer. From then on, I mean, with this build, you can start putting whatever you want. I like the blood-soaked armor on there. Sometimes people just start hacking at you. It gives them a buff where you remove, I think it's like 1% of their health or something. So that's just good to do a little bit of extra damage to someone who's just continuously harassing you. Also, you got a lot of armor on there as well, which is fantastic. I've got a Pendulum of the Lords in here with a greater health, a chrono, and a lesser health. So if you feel like maybe they have a lot of physical and not much energy, then you can remove one of your energy items and for some extra health here and some extra cooldown. That's no problem. Or vice versa. And then the last thing I've got here, this is my situational item. Now I'm finding a lot of rampages are being played at the moment. Now what I used to have was tainted magic, and the reason I've changed this from tainted magic is because tainted magic has quite a long cooldown. If we find it, I'm going to take a look at tainted magic. Gone past it. Okay. So, cannot find tainted magic. Anyway, tainted magic has a very long cooldown on it, and only works on abilities. So when you pop it, you usually pop it with your ultimate, and then it kind of ticks over. So if you're up against a rampage, what you'll notice is that the rampage will have a lot lower cooldown than the cooldown on tainted magic. So I have put this in here, Bane's Flesh. Now you usually can't find it. Because it's hidden from Iggy's choices here. Because it's a crit item, and you have to enable crit items to be able to find it. Oh, there's tainted magic. It suddenly appeared. There we go. So if they enable crit items. So we'll look at tainted magic here. Okay, so we can do this quickly. It's got 120 seconds. That's a 2-minute cooldown. Okay, Rampage's cooldown at max level is about 40 to 60 seconds, depending on how he gears himself. So we say 40 seconds. So you're not going to get this off that often. Okay, and it applies a stack of poison. If you get your Bane's Flesh, which is over here, okay, what this does is when you activate it, when you hit with a basic attack, apply a poison. Okay. Now the reason I've gone for this over the other one is because there's a chance of you getting poisoned, and it resets the cooldown. So that's why I prefer this. I prefer it for the auto attack as well, rather than the ultimate, because the ultimate sometimes you don't always hit with it, but with this you can hit with it constantly over and over and over again, and plus you get a lot of health with that as well. With the tainted magic, you've only got energy damage on this, and I don't really like the energy damage. I want the survivability. If I can survive and just be really annoying, then generally the whole of the team attack me, which this actually saves my teammates. So we'll go over this. So we've got 2 cast tokens in here. We've got a health potion. We've got an armor void here with a shock, a minor shock, and a dire shock. We've got a blood-soaked armor in here with 3 of the physical armors, the guards. We've got Pendulum of the Lords with a lesser health, a chrono, and a greater health. We've got your early game item with tempered plate with 3 minor guards in there. Second tempered plate with 2 greater healths and a greater guard. Ideally this would be 2 greater guards and a greater health. We have our Tomb Barrier with 2 greater barriers and a greater health. We've got our Tomb Barrier with 3 minor barriers. This is again your early game item. to keep you alive. We got our Bane's Flesh here with 2 healths and 1 lesser health. And then we've got Drink the Spirits, where we've got a health, a mana, and a basic mana. Okay, I tend to find that I don't need much mana with Iggy with the Armivore. So, try this out, guys. See how you got on with it. I felt that this performed a lot better than my previous version of this deck. The only thing that I might change in this in the future would be removing something like the Pendulum of the Lords and putting in some wards. Wards are kind of a necessity the higher you go on your ELO. If you were thinking of taking them out for a ward, then you're looking at maybe the Lord's Ward here, or the Sage's Ward, but I don't have the Sage's Ward. Okay, but those are your 2 alternative items that you might want to put in there. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you find this useful, then please subscribe. Chuck us a shout in the comment section. Let me know how you got on with this, and I hope you enjoy poning all the news. Take care, guys.